Hello, beautiful people. Today I talked about stress and toxic environments and how stress is physically impacting your body. How these toxic work environments and toxic relationships, how these physically impact your body. And it's way more than just feeling like crap, it's way more than just dealing with the bullshit. It's actually physically impacting your body, and you're going to continue to feel like shit until you remove yourself. But that's just a little bit about what I talk about. If that's something that you're interested in, please keep listening. As always, thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon. I'm back with season 2. It's Basement Philosophies, and I'm your host, Brittany. Here, we won't follow the script of the mainstream media. We'll talk about real life, real problems, and now that I'm a new mom, we're going to talk about that too. Welcome back, and I'm so happy that you're here. Let's get to it. Good morning. I'm so happy. My microphone is almost dead. There's this little plug on the bottom, and I must have hit it or something because it's really loose. And I thought today was finally the day, but it turns out my headphones were just dead, so plugged in some new ones. But that little plug is about to give out. But I'm not going to get a new microphone yet because I want something awesome, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. It's my first microphone. I hope you're all doing great. Go Astros. That game was amazing last night. My mouth fell open. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the very end. It was amazing. Amazing. Well, we couldn't believe it. Not at all. It was incredible. Incredible win by the incredible boys. Can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. My husband was like, don't wash anything that we wore. The baby, go put it upstairs. And so her outfit is laying out dirty. And he's like, you're going to put that back on her. And you're going to wear that. And I don't want to wear that tomorrow. But nevertheless, that's what's happening. But good game. Good game. What is new? I don't know, because no one ever emails me. Email me, come talk to me, ask me questions, be my friends. One of the things that, I'm trying to do is find more people that are like me. And they say if you start to just be yourself, then your people will end up coming. And, as, a new mom, especially a mom that lives where I live, it's hard to meet people. It's hard to do anything when you're a new mom, honestly, unless I'm going to a kid group, which not really my thing, but maybe one day it will be. I don't know. But it's hard to make friends, but it would just be so awesome to be surrounded by people that are just as weird as I am. It would be so awesome. I just think about it all the time because, my husband, he accepts me for my weird, but he's definitely not, we don't believe in the same things. We don't bond over the same things. And I do like that we're different, but it's just, we're not the same. And I'm all into biohacking and meditation and the body. And he just isn't. He takes a caffeine pill every single day. And I just stare at him like, oh my God. Do you know what that is doing? And he's just like, it's fine. I'm like, oh, it's not fine. And all of my, I find healthier swaps to everything, especially because I'm breastfeeding. It just brought me down to a whole new rabbit hole. And my poor mom and sister, I'm always sending them healthier swaps, to regular cold medicine and everything else, because apparently, just so you all know, and there's a part of me that wishes I didn't know all of this stuff, just because life would be so much easier. But apparently, like the nighttime meds or any of the meds like you find in the store, they like wreak havoc on your liver, like so bad for your liver. So this is not medical advice, but I was researching, and apparently like herbs and like elderberry and things like that, way better. While your body does take a little longer to heal, that's exactly the difference. It's not suppressing the symptoms, but it's actually supporting your body and nurturing your body so that it can better heal itself. As opposed to just, covering up those symptoms so that you can get on with your day, because you should be resting and aiding and helping your body heal when you are sick. That is why you get sick. It's your body's way of saying, hey, rest. It's funny, like my supervisor at work was, she got really sick, and it's not my fault. She was sick when, before I even saw her. And I was like, you're supposed to, rest when you get sick. And she's like, yeah, it's my body's way of telling me that I've done too much. And she's like, but I don't have time. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. You don't have time, but you just got to make the time so you can rest. And then like, man, sure enough, a week later, I go to my next meeting and she's eating like sugar and cake. And I'm like, oh my God, no. It's so... what we do to our bodies here, it is incredibly insane. But you know what? It's also incredibly hard to not be poisoned by every tiny little thing, because there's poison everywhere, all over the place. And it's just very disheartening. And it makes me mad sometimes. But you can make little changes in your life so that you can, help that burden of toxins. I'm a big detoxer, which I can't really do any of that right now. Like I said, because I am exclusively breastfeeding. So you don't want to do a whole bunch of stuff, because whatever you do, it kind of happens to your baby through her milk. So I'm just kind of, nurturing my body and feeding my body what it needs so that everything the baby needs, she gets. But now, am I perfect? No, but she's growing and she's healthy, and that's all that matters. I don't beat myself up. Like, I ate the shittiest food yesterday, but you know what? It was freaking awesome. Like, it was the first time I've been full, and I mean, it didn't last long, but I was full for the first time ever, in like months and months and months. Because I don't know if you're breastfeeding. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think it is. When you breastfeed exclusively, or just in general, or pump or whatever, you're starving all of the freaking time. So hungry. And I'm so hungry. And I just was like, I want something bad for me. I want a burger. I ate a burger, a hot dog, and like onion rings and these like fried cheese things. I know, awful. I can't, like, I don't want to do that now. Like, all I want today is like fruit or water, like lemon water. I don't want anything like that, but I don't know. It just, those cravings don't go away. Like, you can't take America out of the girl. Like, we're known for our disgusting eating habits here. And it's true, they're disgusting. But it was worth it. But now I'm back, and I want to eat my fruits and vegetables and take my vitamins, But for that one day, it was so, so good. But you can help the burden of toxins. The one thing I do, because there is there are a couple things that you can do even when you're breastfeeding. Epsom salt baths with baking soda are one of my favorites. Again, not medical advice. This is just all the things that I do personally. So if you want to try anything like this, talk to your physician. But I do Epsom salt baths, which you can even do for toddlers and babies. I read that, but just in less amounts. But I just basically fill the tub with hot water, as hot as I can stand it. Put baking soda and Epsom salt in there, and I just soak and sweat, because I don't have An infrared sauna. That's what I want now. It's going on my vision board, which I haven't made yet. Yeah, I'm making a vision board. I don't care who makes fun of me. I'm doing it. Because I just ordered a printer. I ordered a printer so that I could print out the things and make my vision board. I don't even care. I don't care who makes fun of me. I'm doing it. And my infrared sauna is going on there. And I know my husband's not going to want that thing here, but I don't care. I really, really want it. But for now, I do my Epsom salt baths, and, I can sweat out a bunch of stuff. Just make sure, you're drinking tons and tons of water. It's just a lightweight to detox because, you don't want to carry all that stuff. And then I go on my walks with her, mostly because I go on my walks with Quinn, mostly because she's cranky AF. And so I get the walks in because my workouts are sporadic. It all depends on her because she's not on a schedule no matter what. So I could be working out right now, but I want to do this. This is good for my brain. It's all part of, all part of that mental health. This is like good for my mental health, being able to talk on my little podcast here. This is like what I have for myself, right? Because if I don't have this, then it's just like baby in school and that's it. So, I go take my little walk, sweat that way, dry brush, like I've said, like just the little things. I know like people don't have, like a lot of people don't have the money to do all the little biohack things. Sorry, I don't know why. It's like my brain is moving way faster than my mouth. Sorry. A lot of people don't have money for the biohacking stuff because I want a brain tap. That thing is awesome. My infrared sauna. I got my Oura ring. That was I love my Oura ring. Everybody should have one. But there's so much out there I want to do. And there's so much that I'm going to do when I stop breastfeeding. But for right now, I'm watching what I eat. I'm trying to heal my body the best that I can. I'm just kind of being very aware of the inflammation inside my body because that is tied to so much that happens. I think there was like a study done and there's like 90 something percent of illnesses, like disease, was linked to inflammation in the body. So I am like way on board. Like I've been looking up like anti-inflammatory recipes because I can eat good nourishing foods. That's good for me and baby. So as long as I'm not, detoxing or fasting, or I do want to do a parasite cleanse and I'm gonna do it, but it's just not the time for that yet. But that's what I'm focusing on right now, especially because I'm trying to finish out this god-awful semester. Oh my God. I'm so glad that those couple of weeks are over with. Like that was was it like 4 or 5 weeks? That was rough. Like I didn't know if I was going to make it. I thought I was going to have to quit school. I didn't know. I was just, and partly because the baby wasn't sleeping and she was going through her little regression thing and I was struggling. And like at one point I remember sitting in the chair, I was just done. Like, Armando had to go take the baby for a walk and I just sat in the bath and I was like too tired to cry, but the tears were falling and I was just like at my wit's end. I didn't know what I was going to do, but thankfully things started to turn around. They say that's like what happens. Like when your baby knows that you can't take any more of their crap, they turn over a new leaf, and it's true. So, and then school, I'm hoping that the individual is just really sick of picking on me. So, I'm just praying that it stays calm. I'm writing my stupid paper. Like I'm halfway through it, working on it. Just trying to get that done. New class started this week. So I'm going to just kind of burn through that. It's only 3 weeks long, but those are like jam packed. But gonna do it. Gotta get it done. I just work. I get like so much. Some of my best work is done in the morning. Like when I'm like washing the laundry, cleaning, like doing all the stuff so the house is put together, which it already usually is because I won't go to bed with a messy, kitchen or anything like that. But like I'll start the laundry, do all the things as long as, baby's good, she's usually pretty good in the morning until it's time for her first nap. But then like at night, I like to go to bed. Like I like to sleep. Definitely a morning person. I know that now because I'm not hungover every day. Because I wasn't a morning person either. But I love the mornings. I think they're beautiful. I love hearing the birds, and I love morning. It's quiet. I like, and when I wake up really early, I am tired and I don't want people to talk to me, of course, but it's still a really beautiful time. And I love the mornings. And what was my point? But what I've noticed, is when the baby goes to sleep. So I got so much done, like writing wise, when I was laying next to her, just in the quiet room, and I was just like, okay, this might work. I might be able to get this shit done. Like, there's hope, because like I was losing hope. I was losing hope that I would be able to do it, but it's all a balancing act. It is, but it's hard. It has been hard to be a student and be a mom and be an intern. Like, it is the freaking hardest thing ever. Just being a mom was hard enough. Then you add in all this shit, and I'm like, fudge, what am I supposed to do? I can't do this. But I'm doing it. I'm here. I'm working. So I personally, like, despite what it might look like to others, like on the outside, maybe they don't think I'm doing a good job, but knowing who I am and what I was like before, this is just like, go me. Like, go me. I am a superhero. Like, I always, like, I'm giving myself pats on the back. I'm just like, go me. But I want to say, like, the stress, it really was wearing on me. Oh, and before I even get into the stress part, I want to say I am so sad that I am now at the where my hair falls out postpartum phase. So much of my hair is falling out. And I know they say it's like no more than what you didn't lose while you were pregnant, but oh my God, it is like a lot. It is like a lot of hair. And I'm so sad. And I don't even like to, I just put it in those French braids down my head, and like I put it up, and I don't even want to mess with it because every time I brush it out, it's just like more and more. It's so sad. And like I barely wash my hair anyway. I've always been that way. And I just don't have time for it. And especially when I bleach it, like I don't have to wash it because it never looks dirty. But hopefully after this time, like I love blonde hair. I do. It's so much fun, but I'm so sick of it. Because now I had to go get it done in November before this wedding. And because my husband just really loves it. He really loves my blonde hair. And who am I to say no if he's going to pay for it, right? But I had to go up there and sit, and I hate sitting and washing my hair. I just hate it. Or not washing, getting it done. Just like I don't like to get my nails done, nothing. And I'm going to have to do all that for this wedding. And I'm just really bummed out. But anyway, so I want to get back to the stress. So, a lot of people will work on their mental health, but not their physical health. So for me and the work I'm doing now and in the future, it's always going to be tied. There is no separating physical and mental with me and my work. And as an intern, it's really hard to do everything that I want because one, I need to do my foundational work. I work under multiple supervisors, and I'm new, so I can't really get into the things that I want. But I can use this time to learn, and that's what I'm doing. So while I don't have a lot of clients, doing this work. I will in the future. But for right now, like, I can do the work and the certifications and all of that, which I am going to work on. I just need to find a way to pay for it. If I had the money right now, I would start this certification just so I would have it under my belt when I graduate. Like, I'm so excited. I can't wait for all of this to start happening. But, sorry. Back to what I was saying. Like, for me, there is no separating the physical and the mental work. There's just no way. So, even now, like, the bare minimum is I ask all the clients that I see, like, what are you eating? What are you, tell me, like, how you're moving and, things like that. And then the mental ties in so much to that. But one of the things that I find that's most helpful, which is what I wanted to share with everyone here, is like, what exactly is happening to your body physically? When people say, that toxic job is making you sick, all of that stress making you sick. Well, I'm not going to go into every intricate detail of what's happening in your body. We can do that. If you want me to do that, I can. And just send me a message and we can go through that. I'll even make a show about it, whatever. But, I always get super pumped, when people tell me, like when my sister left her job, she left a toxic environment. Because people don't realize when you're in a toxic environment, whether it's relationship or work or your home life, whatever, that's making you sick. That is causing a chemical reaction in your body, and it's physically having like an effect on you. Because cortisol, and especially an overabundance of it, it can cause your havoc on the body. It can wreak havoc on your body. And like your adrenal function, it changes. Then that impacts how the thyroid works. And then, if we're not nurturing our bodies and caring for our bodies, which most of us aren't, including myself, then a whole bunch of other things happen. Our oral health starts to fail. Our gums are bleeding. Our hair is falling out. We have bags under our eyes. Our skin is leathery and gross and dry because, our bodies are just trying to survive. And it does that in a lot of different ways, and a lot of symptoms can happen. Emotionally, if we are struggling from stress, we're agitated, can't really relax, we're always overwhelmed. We feel depressed and lonely and worthless, and we're just, at the end of the day, we avoid people. We're not happy because we're just, but people don't understand that something is happening physically in your body. And if we can remove ourselves, there's almost instantaneous relief. Ask my sister. She quit her job, and while she was really scared, ultimately she didn't care. She didn't care because she just felt so much better just knowing that she didn't have to go back there. And I was so proud of her, and we have to be mindful of what is happening to our bodies when we live in these toxic environments, or we're working in these environments. And, people, yes, I know some people, you have to have the job. You have to make the money. You have to pay the bills, correct? I do understand that. But if we can use this time, and I know it's easier said than done, but it's just, working on little things. I'm not saying quit the job. Well, I am. I will say quit the job as soon as you can. But I know that you can't just quit, right? So a lot of people will think that money is the issue. I'm going to tell you right now, or that money is the solution. And I'm going to tell you right now, I had an amazing job once. I loved my job. I made a lot of money. It was one of the better times in my life, because money, I hate worrying about money. I hate stressing about it. And that's something else that we can unpack some other day. But until I find solutions, I can't get into it. But I will say, in that particular time in my life, it was probably the happiest I've ever been, because I had the money and the freedom. And I just, after a while though, having the money, I had the money, paid off the debt, But ultimately, the same problems kept popping up, right? And the environment at work, I was starting to get sick of it, and it's just, it turned out that money did not solve all my problems. And I knew that being in an environment where I felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to, but still having the paycheck, I don't know, there was definitely not a balance there, and I knew something was off. And while I wanted that paycheck to keep happening, I knew that eventually it was all going to stop. Like, I knew it. Because when you're not on the right path, something deep down, it hits you. But then after that job, oh my gosh, like that's when everything changed. That's when Mike died. I moved in with my sister, met Armando, a whole bunch of shit. And then like I became desperate for a job, right? But that's when I went into like my crisis, like another crisis in faith, in life. I didn't know. It was almost like it was like another dark night of the soul for me. I had one in my 20s and then one then. And it was just a really scary time because I can remember praying and begging and never, getting any answers. You know how people, and a lot of people might get mad at this, but you know how a lot of people are just like pray on it. And I can remember a lot of times where I did and nothing happened, like I can remember just being in a state of desperation. And ultimately I found that was the problem, the desperation. If we're looking for jobs or seeking money or things like that, that can't come from a desperate place. I do know that now. Now, do I know what it takes to, manifest the things and put it inside my vortex? No, not yet. There's some block that I'm experiencing in my own work with manifestation. So when I figure it out, I'll get back to you. But I assume it is tied to my self-worth because, I struggle with that. But when you come from a desperate place, it probably won't happen. It'll probably keep you stagnant because you don't have the right energy. I can remember, and I know that sounds stupid, but hear me out. Like, I can remember praying. Like, I had a car, my truck note at the time, and I couldn't pay it. And like, I pretty much, like, my mom and my sister, they were helping me. Or they helped me a few times. And I remember it got to the point where I didn't want them to help me anymore, but I also had no money and I also couldn't find a job. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible to like be, trying so hard to be open to receiving and it not happen. And then the more it didn't happen, the more I freaked out, the more desperate I got. Granted, I ended up getting out of that, but it was because my partner now helped me, but it was just an awful, awful time. And so don't think I don't know what it's like to be like broke, and it's easier said than done kind of thing. Like, I know I've been there. So it's really scary. But what I will say is, when you are in a terrible place, in a toxic environment, and you don't make any changes, things will stay the same. There's this doctor, Dr. Connor, I believe. I don't know for sure. But anyway, she is like a cancer doctor. But the way she cures cancer it's very on the holistic side. She does do a little bit of chemo sometimes. It depends. She builds treatment plans specifically for the person, and it's nothing like the hospital. But I read an article of hers, and it said 85 or more % of ovarian cancer does come back. And she states that it does come back not because it can't be like cured, not because cell mutation cannot be restructured, but because the environment has stayed the same. So it doesn't matter, how healthy we are, how much we work out, eat, hydrate, whatever. If we are in a toxic relationship or at a toxic job, we're still going to struggle mentally, right? Or we're still going to have sickness. Just like, or it doesn't matter if we go and, our cancer is cured, right? For however they kill it. It doesn't matter how. But then we come back and we start doing the same shit again, eating the bad foods, living in a moldy home, whatever it may be. Then yeah, cancer is going to come right back because that's what caused it all. Symptoms are not telling us that we failed. It's not telling us. Symptoms are just a way of talking to us. It's a way of telling us, hey, something is wrong in the body. Let's see what these symptoms are, get to the root cause, and then, we can start and move forward from there. So I've said, in my own journey with depression, I had major depression, major. But it was no surprise because while it might have been triggered from a very toxic relationship and a breakup, thank God, but while it might have been triggered by that breakup, the relationship as a whole was a very, very toxic, but also my lifestyle. I didn't eat well. I was drinking all the time. I smoked cigarettes back then. I'm talking like lots and lots of cigarettes, like more than one pack a day. I had an awful job, awful. I hated it. I hated that job. I hated most of my jobs. They didn't pay me well and they treated me like garbage. So, it was just awful. I was health-wise, awful. I didn't take care of myself. It wasn't until I think I told this story before. I think I almost died, but it could have been a dream. I can't be too sure. Either way, I had an out-of-body experience, and that is when I decided to start taking care of my body because I'm pretty sure my kidneys were, starting to fail basically because I was just not taking care of myself. So, that's when I started, my yoga and just eating because I really wasn't eating. I was like forcing a Nutri-Grain bar down my throat daily just to get something because I wasn't hungry. I don't eat when I'm stressed really, but I was drinking so much. My hair was falling out, my face sunk in, like it was bad. So it's funny because then I look at myself now and I'm like, wow, way to go. I'm not saying that I'm the healthiest now either because, I'm on my 50th cup of coffee. But I'm doing this new thing. It's supposed to be good for your hair and your skin where you put an egg yolk in your coffee. I know, it sounds disgusting, but apparently it's, so good for you. Again, not medical advice, but, all of these, I'm learning so much, and I know people will be like, oh my God, you're going to get sick. What do you get from raw eggs? Salmonella or botulism? I don't even know. But it turns out whatever that is that you get, it's like a myth. Well, it's not a myth. It can happen, but more record of that coming from lettuce compared to eggs. It was some study. And I was like, really? Because everybody's like, don't eat raw eggs, don't. But apparently that's not as big of a deal as you would think. Kind of like when I was little and I thought quicksand would be a bigger deal. It's not that big of a deal. Never come across quicksand, but I remember being very afraid of it. I don't know what I saw, but anyway. But my point is, I just kind of been all over the place today, huh? My point is, when people say, get out of that toxic environment, it's coming from a place of understanding what the body does in stressful situations. When we live in a state of stress, our body is constantly pumping that cortisol, like I said. And our body is just chemically just reacting. It's inflamed. It's just overwhelmed with the, cortisol and all the hormones and everything that happen when you're in the constant state of fight and flight, or in some cases, dorsal shutdown. And our bodies are never in a state of balance. Someone once said to me, and it might have been my own therapist or someone else, that anxiety is just a way to tell you that your body is in a state of, it's imbalanced, So if you're feeling anxious, it's just your body not being balanced. So what we want to do is we want to get back in a balanced state. Normally in times of anxiety, something could be happening, triggering the anxiety, or it could simply be my thoughts and I'm thinking way too far into the future, or I'm thinking about everything that needs to be done, or I'm thinking about school or this or that, my to-do list or the baby or the housework, and I'm just thinking. But when I kind of stop all of that and then I come and center myself back, the anxiety kind of subsides. And, it's just, it's a constant work. You can't always be balanced. Like I said before, these people that their ultimate goal is to transcend human emotion altogether. I don't think that that's possible. We're human. We're not. Why else would we be here if we weren't? We're humans. While I do think our bodies are vehicles for our soul, we're still human at the end of the day. We're here to learn lessons. We're here to learn and grow. And so to think that you can transcend all that, what would be the point? Now, maybe that is some journey here, but it's not mine. So that's what your goal is. I'm probably not the person to listen to. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help myself and hopefully other people just survive. That's what we're doing half the time. And I think that one of the best ways we can learn about ourselves and learn how to navigate our world is to connect to our nervous system. When we do that, it kind of allows us to notice our patterns and our feelings and how we're acting and reacting, and what's benefiting us and what's not. There are so many times where I've reacted and I have no idea where it came from, or I have some kind of feeling of sadness and I have no idea why. And that's because everything that happens to us, all of our trauma, all of our experiences, they live in our nervous system. That is my belief. Some people don't believe that, but I do believe that. And in order to change, though, we have to be able to notice these things. We have to be able to listen to our bodies and, learn our nervous system. Sorry about that. Luna is barking. I don't know why. And in order to, move away from the patterns that are no longer serving us, from the patterns that are draining us of everything, we must be willing to change. But we can't change if we don't know what we're looking for. So an exercise that I've been working with, and maybe you will want to try too, is called considering change. And, I have some destructive patterns in my life. So usually I'll try to pick a pattern, whether it's whatever it is. Just pick something that you don't, just any pattern, I guess, to practice. And then you hold that pattern in your mind, or you can draw it out, whatever is best for you. And then you kind of change the way that pattern or that image it looks. Change a color, change, a position, change the words that come next, or, just kind of fiddle with it, or be like, instead of saying this, say this, and just see how it molds and change and where you end up. And this is just kind of a way to, one, be mindful, bring you kind of in the present moment to kind of shut out all the external noise. And then, it'll just kind of get you inside the body. And I believe that all of us need to just get inside the body. So many have been living outside the body on autopilot for so long, just trying to survive. And my goal is just to get back inside the body. So, if we can hold this image or look at this drawing and just focus on it, it kind of gets us back in the body. And then just kind of see how you feel in your body when you make those changes. If it feels good, if it feels not good, change it back, kind of like that. Just kind of experiment with making these small changes and be creative in imagining something new and safely explore what happens to the image, what happens to the body. It's just something that you can practice and just see how you feel. If that's too hard, then, we'll try something else next time. It's just a way to get to know what's happening inside our bodies, because a lot of people, they're not paying attention. If we actively listen what's going on inside of our bodies and how we feel and extend ourselves some kindness in those moments, especially in moments of stress, we will find that things start to shift. So I challenge you, the next time something stressful is happening, whether it's an emotion that you are, not sure where it came from, or just maybe a situation is happening, or you're fighting with your partner and your body just doesn't feel good, or you just feel upset. Just take a moment, say, my nervous system is reacting. My nervous system is just trying to protect me. I will be here for myself in this moment while my body does what it needs to protect me. And you'll find that you'll calm down a lot faster because you're getting to know your nervous system. You're getting to know your body. And that is just the work that I will be doing in the future, and I'm really excited. So that is it for today. I absolutely love talking to you all. I feel so much better now. I feel like now I can go work on my annoying paper, or I'm waiting for some stuff to get in from Amazon. I got a new floor cleaner. I am jazzed. I'm so jazzed. And what do you feel? What if I got the leaf blower for outside and just blew the floors to clean them? I think I'm going to do it. I don't know. Lots to do today, but I hope you all are, taking care of yourselves or on the right track. If you don't know where to start, just start small. And I just hope you're feeling better. I hope that you have a little more hope. And I hope that, you're finding more joy and magic in your day. If there's any way I can pray for you, please contact me and let me know, and I will make that happen. I will talk to you all soon. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.